Oh, right, this is the right.
Yeah, because we don't have a lot of time, right?
As we're going, Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no mics.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's in this,
They're in the ceiling.
ceiling.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Finance. I'll call the meeting to order. And if it's okay with everyone, I'd like to skip item 2, which is the reading of the pledge. We can do that at our 7 p.m. meeting. So we'll move right into item 3, to hear, consider, and adopt a bond resolution entitled Resolution Appropriating $6,286,480 for the cost of roof replacement projects at Holland Hill Elementary School and North Stratfield Elementary School, and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, 20 years. Can I have a motion to hear this item? Mr. DeWitt, seconded by Mr. Curley. This item is before us. The full resolution begins on page 1 of the backup materials that are posted online. All right, so we have Mr. Papa George here from Fairfield Public Schools to take us through this item. So I will turn this over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So what you have before you is the bond resolution for the 2 roof projects that were completed this, or started, I should say, this summer. Normally I say completed in the summer, but I'll go over them both. I'll start with North Stratfield that had a price increase on it that was not reflected in our past waterfall and our past projects. So let me go over just a couple of reasons why that exists and why those you'll see those increases in there. The first and foremost reason we're doing that project this year because of the air conditioning project being scheduled for North Stratfield. It was discovered that the roof was not in the best of shape, and it made sense to put new equipment on a roof that was failing ultimately. So we made the decision to move that up. We moved the McKinley roof back because we felt it was in better shape and could last another year. But unfortunately, that did not make an equal swap because of the North Stratfield roof being a higher price tag on it. The reason for the higher price tag on it is the scope has changed because of the air conditioning project. So now there's more curbing associated with equipment. There's more penetrations, new holes being cut through the roof to make watertight for the new equipment. And there's also, normally we would do the construction management project in-house, but because we have an ongoing project, we're gonna have an ongoing project there. And we thought it best that the coordinator of that project be also the construction manager project for the roof project. So that's why the increase in cost you'll see there versus what it was on the waterfall previously, and the difference between that and the cost difference between that and the McKinley price tag.
Fair, may I ask?
Yeah,
Can
go
we ask questions as we go? I just know we don't have a lot of time tonight, so.
Yep.
So in the backup, it looks like of the 6.3, North Stratfield is 4.4. You mentioned that's higher. I get it. You'll take us through more detail. And you mentioned that timing perspective, McKinley was delayed. What was the price on the McKinley project?
One. $1.755.
1.75. And you mentioned that North Stratfield is more expensive now at 4.4 than it was in the waterfall in the previous iteration. How much of an increase was it?
So.
It was 2.1.
2X.
That's the table. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Rotella?
So you indicated that the increase is due, it sounds like, because we have to build the roof to accommodate the air conditioning,
It's not
correct?
a different type of roof, same type, same ed specs for.
More supporting structure to
There's
it.
gonna be more support structures placed on the roof for the incoming equipment, for the HVAC equipment. There's also gonna be more penetration, so holes cut through the roof that allow for equipment, electricity, ductwork to go in and out of the building. So all that has to be placed and set. And this roof will also, another driving factor, which I already was, should have been that, as I mentioned earlier, usually we say we want to get these roofs done this summer. That's usually our term, get it done this summer. This will end up being a 2-year project. We'll do part of the roof this summer, part of it next summer. Because as the air conditioning project moves forwards, that's when we will be ahead of them to get the pieces in place and replaced.
So let's say, just for hypothetical, let's say you had a new home in 2 years ago and you wanted to put AC in.
Yep.
Would you have to do some of those things that you just described anyway, to accommodate the air conditioning?
Absolutely.
That would be part of the overall cost of the AC, that installation. right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then is the increase in price, does it have anything to do with just you just, for lack of a better term, whiffed on your original estimate, or is it solely due to what you?
We've been pretty accurate with our estimates with our roofs over the last few years. Prices change. We did, just to give you an example, we did 2 roofs last summer. We did Sherman and Riverfield Elementary School. The Sherman roof was, when it came in from bid, was $45 a square foot to replace that roof. Simultaneously, we were doing Riverfield, it was $35 a square foot to replace that roof. Numbers, and it was the same contractor, same bidder, so numbers are all over the place still, and we do our best to lock them in, to get the best pricing. We work with multiple.
So, and then so this price is $2 million more for the reasons you explained, and $2 million more than what was on the waterfall chart, correct?
Correct.
And I'm gonna ask about Holland Hill because it's just part of.
Can I?
Go ahead, yes.
Before we get to Holland Hill, if you don't mind, I just want to make sure I understand. So we went from 2.1 to 4.4. Is all of that differential, the scope changes to accommodate the air conditioning or not?
Most of it, I will not say 100% of it, but I would, using estimates, about 90% of that is also, as I said, taking into account the, what's going on with roofs and pricing. We get prices for equipment, rooftop equipment, any of that stuff, and our budgets, we used to get quotes that said good for 30, 90, 60 days. Now we get them good for 10 days. So no one can give us good numbers.
Okay, and I guess just to follow up on Mr. Matola's point, so arguably the extra $2 million then, or 90% of the differential is really related to air conditioning and not roof, right?
Majority.
So this is an additional cost for air conditioning. And so you talked about McKinley being swapped out. What else is on the waterfall that's gonna be, do we have other air conditioning projects that are going to be similarly affected because we have to put in more supporting structures on roofs to accommodate them?
So
Is that due to our overall cost of, the broader air conditioning projects?
So most of, not all of our roofs are fairly in the newer condition. There's part of Ward, part of Ledlow have some small roof, you'll see on the waterfall, some small roof projects there, minor areas. Riverfield was just done. Dwight and Jennings are probably the older of the roofs at this point, but they have projects moving forwards in the waterfall down the road, so we would hope to tie those into the actual projects. McKinley, we have the roof project there, but we were actually looking the other day thinking that we actually are gonna be coming to a point very soon that we're gonna have a low on roof replacements, which is gonna be great for us. And all the new roofs have 20 to 25-year life expectancies and warranties on them. So we do foresee in the waterfall a drop in roof replacement projects coming up. As of two, we have the Dwight and the Jennings projects. There's an ECC placeholder on the waterfall as well. But after those projects, we see larger construction projects.
And I guess I'm not sure you answered my question, but so maybe let me just restate it. And I appreciate everything you said, but Mr. Matola asked, had we repaired this roof 2 years ago?
Yep.
For North Stratfield, would we still have to do some of this additional stuff to reinforce it, to put the air conditioning? And you said yes.
Yes.
So that's what I'm getting to. So even in additional locations where we have newer roofs, and I don't have all of them at the top of my head, like, have you gone back and estimated the impact on the overall waterfall of these air conditioning projects for any additional roof,
So
work
that-
you're gonna have to do?
Yeah, so those numbers will be carried in the air conditioning project
So
itself.
they're already carried in the air conditioning project.
They are already carried into the air conditioning project, but I wanna,
Pending, I understand prices can change, but it sounds like, and I don't wanna say this the wrong way, but we sort of failed to consider this roof when we estimated the air conditioning costs for North Stratfield. You're saying that's not the case for the remaining air conditioning on the waterfall you have taken into account?
correct, and we did, and you are correct, we did not take into account the condition of the roof when we talked about the price of the air conditioning. What we did take into condition is putting the new curbing on the roofs, making the penetrations. That was work that would have had to happen one way or the other. So that was kind of brought into the air conditioning pricing. It was separated out as the building committee started working through that project because we realized that we were gonna do a roof project, so those prices should be carried in with that roof because it's roof work, it's done by our roofing contractor. So that's why we did the project.
So is this just a shift then? Will the cost of the air conditioning for North Stratfield be $2 million less because they don't have to do that work?
The cost of the air conditioning project at North Stratford will not be $2 million less, as I will present later on at the regular meeting.
Yeah.
And I know the building committee is here as well. The numbers for the air conditioning project will be going up. As you'll see in the waterfall, there's gonna be an additional request for funding for that. So that additional funding request does not take into account the roofing work that's gonna be done.
Okay, so I just want to peel that onion back a little bit. I understand that post-COVID, a lot of construction projects are costing a lot more. To really understand that's something that we're seeing across the board. Taking the dollars off it, I'm talking more about scope. Like, I thought what I heard you say is that the air conditioning projects did take into consideration making those penetrations and that type of work, which the cost of that, whether it was old dollar estimates or otherwise, should have been in your project numbers. Yeah, so any increases that we're seeing are truly related to just changes in the market as opposed to change of scope.
For other air conditioning.
For other-
Right. This
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, all right.
North Stratfield? Related to North Stratfield or?
The overall.
Okay,
You wanna
yeah, it's,
talk about,
no, I know John had a question on Holland Hill. Does it?
no questions and
You go.
Well, does anyone else have a question on the
Yeah,
North
real
Stratfield?
simple.
North Stratfield?
North Stratfield. So you talked about this being a 2-year project, but you also talked about the work being done in the summer, right?
I said normally we say we're gonna try to get all our roofs done over the summer break. This is gonna be a 2-year project. We're gonna start this summer and complete next summer.
Okay, so why are we here on October 19th? Is it to hold a price or
Is
what's the
to
urgency?
be able to go out to bid for the roof, we need to apply to the state for reimbursement in order to qualify for reimbursement.
Yeah.
We have to do that within 10 calendar days of the first every month. So we could do it in November, we could do it in December, we could do it in January.
Right.
It takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get the responses back from the state. And if we want to be in a good position to bid for the start this summer, we want to get that application into the state before the 10 days are up in November, because that already puts us into the holiday season. State is closed.
Good, I just want to understand it. Great.
So we have 10 calendar days to apply to the state. They have 30 working days to respond. So we have to do it in 10 days, but they have 30 working days, take the holidays out, take the weekends out, so it drags that out a little bit.
this is a reimbursement. We get partial
We would
reimbursement.
get roof, yes, our 26 point,
So if you got this into the state within the first 10 days of November, you'd be in a position to go out to bid in January.
that is our goal.
And that's the time frame that you need in order to be able to start work in July or?
It's the time frame we need. It gives contractors time to bid on it and get material on site so that they're ready to run. And it also gives us a better opportunity to bid and get better competitive pricing for the roof project. Cause as the contractors, there's only so many contractors who do commercial roofs in the area. And as they build their summers out, they start to bid higher on prices because they don't need the work. So we like to be competitive and try to get the best pricing available.
All right. Do you have a question on Holland Hill?
My only question on Howland Hill is, the price here is it commensurate with what was on the waterfall chart a year ago, or is it gone up? It
It has
is.
not changed.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, that's all.
Karen?
Yes, could you explain how you're gonna do a roof over 2 years? Like over 2 summers is like,
So we remove the sections that we're gonna replace and they replace as they move across. There's natural breaks on a roof and then there's also the ability to create a seam. And then when they come back, they remove the seam and then continue across. It's not something that is not done. It's not always done, but we try to get them done in a season, but it has been done before.
and so why are you doing it over 2 years instead of just over 1?
Because of all the other work being done in the building, it's kind of like moving a jigsaw puzzle around. We have to be in certain areas and then out of areas as other work is being performed. So it doesn't allow us just to have a clear, everyone off the roof, we're coming to town and we're gonna go on it.
Mr. DeWitt?
Thank you, Ms. Chairman. I don't know if everyone in the board watched the Board of Selectmen meeting. I have similar concerns to Mr. Flynn. And given the fact that we're about to venture in 10 minutes into our capital planning workshop, and the fact that I'm not really comfortable with how much listen, I'm fine with the number, to be perfectly honest. This 6.3 doesn't bother me. I'm kind of past that point in my life where I'm, trying to figure out what roofs cost. But I am concerned with the when and the where. So since we're having this meeting this evening, I'd like to make a motion that we move this vote to after our capital planning workshop. So we have a lot more info. You even alluded to the fact that there's gonna be more information. I think we'll be a lot more informed. I don't think nothing's gonna happen if we voted on it at 10 o'clock tonight or 7:30 tonight, so.
Second.
Discussion? Any discussion? Ms. Marmion?
I'm just gonna say I agree with you. I'd rather have the perspective of hearing the total capital kind of plan with the waterfall to give us perspective, and I feel more comfortable voting on this after that.
Any other discussion?
Can we talk a little bit about the other roof?
Yeah, I would recommend maybe we take the last 10 minutes to maybe vote on that. Right.
Maybe the discussion.
I didn't wanna squelch the
So
conversation,
I
but
just want to make sure we know how to do this properly. So I guess we would
recess?
It's not a table, it's not a table.
No table, yeah.
We should
Recess?
take
Motion to recess, yeah?
Recess until,
Motion to adjourn.
not a motion to adjourn. It's a
No, because then you have to have another special meeting.
recess this meeting until the
Yeah.
conclusion.
Time certain after the.
We will have to make a motion at the capital planning workshop to put this vote on that. Oh, no, because we'll come back into this.
Come in.
For this meeting.
Come back
A recess, I guess, right?
out of recess. Okay,
I think so.
I think that's what you would.
we can do that. So
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Do
Mr.
that
Curley,
now.
I didn't mean to.
No.
Okay.
let's take a vote now, and then we can continue our discussion for another 5 minutes, because we need 5 minutes between the two meetings in order to allow the FairTV to pivot between the two meetings. So we had a motion. Did someone?
Second, I think Ms. Marmion second.
Okay, so all in favor of,
Wait a second. You're gonna do a motion to recess now, then we're in recess, so do the motion to recess.
well, but are we recessing or are we making a motion to postpone this vote until?
I think you're just making a motion.
We're just making a motion to recess, yeah.
All right, so let's
Continue the
keep going.
discussion.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the other school?
Holland Hill.
Holland Hill was a small area as well. The building received a full renovation that was completed 2 years ago. The section of roof that we're talking about today was not part of that construction project. So at end of life, it was, let's see, Bill, installed in 91 and 96 respectively. And now we're looking to do the replacement of those areas of the roof. They have nothing to do with the current or new areas of the building. Not completed during
This would be just one summer project, not
summer, yep.
no AC issues with this one?
No,
Plain vanilla then.
yes. What do you like?
All right.
Nothing to do with the last construction.
Nothing to do with the last construction, no. Other than.
Just doing another roof, same building.
Yes.
Here's the part.
So why doesn't Holland Hill have any AC issues? Do they already have AC?
Yeah, those are in the renovation.
Okay, so this, and we'll see this, I know, when we get to the capital planning workshop, but, so this, how much does this add to the, so we're putting North Stratfield on for 4.4. North Stratfield roof was not in next year's waterfall at all, right? That was out a year. So we're adding 4.4, we're taking out McKinley of 1.7.
5, yeah.
So is the net of those two numbers what we're adding to the overall waterfall for fiscal 24?
No, you'll hear during the presentation, there's a couple other projects.
So there's other projects, but they're not projects that we're voting on tonight. So this is one of, yes, it's definitely a good idea to see all of that.
Okay.
All right, well, and Mr. DeWitt, did you make a motion to recess or did you make a different?
I made a motion to both. I didn't use the right word. I'll change my motion to recess this meeting until after the next. Ms. Marmon said.
All right, all in favor of recessing the meeting until we complete the capital planning work?
Aye.
Okay, it is unanimous.
Thank you.
3, 5, 7.
Right, they do. I mean, it's just fortuitous that we're having this meeting tonight, right?
Yeah.
If this was 3 weeks from now, we'd probably need a little more discussion. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, all right, so we are recessed and we will start our next meeting at 7 p.m.